So the next thing to do is to connect the ailerons. But before I do that, I just want to show you what I've done here. So I've taken off the paint around there and here and on this edge on the horizontal stabilizer and elevators, and I've given them a lot of exercise. Far more than I give myself. So they're all done and ready to glue in. So the ailerons, to be connected, I need to pop the servo arm up, and to do that I've got my little servo tester here, and it's connected through to the servo wire, and I've got a bit of a bloated 2200 battery here, and I don't know if you saw that, it came popping up. Here we are. That's the travels. That's centered. So just to go through a few things, these are the 2 push rods and clevises that I need for the ailerons. But I also noticed I've got a bag with another 2 push rods and 2 long screws, which I believe are spare because I've already got 2 of those. And as far as the 2 long screws are concerned, I've got a bag here with 2 long screws that are identical to the other 2 long screws, so I think they're spares as well. I've got a bag full of horns, 4 horns, 2 for each elevator, 2 for each aileron. They're already installed, so those are spare as well. So these are the 2 things that I'm really interested in, these 2 push rods and these 2 clevises. The other bag I've got that I'm currently looking at is this one, and this has 2 clevises and a servo quick link or adjustable link. I think they're for the elevator push rods because they come out either side of the fuselage and they don't have any clevises on them, so that's what they're for. And there is another bag full of stuff, but we'll come on to that because that's all electronics, Y leads, Becks and that type of thing. I'm beginning to think the quality of these clevises is not as good as it should be. The ball's just come off it and I haven't even done anything. So here's 2 I prepared earlier. We're going to get rid of this rubbish and we're going to put some decent ones on. Right, so here's 2 good replacement clevises. Here's some pieces of junk that are going to be thrown away straight away. Right, so we've got a Z bend on one end that goes in the top hole, like this. There we go. And the clevis end needs adjusting so the aileron is nice and level with the rest of the wing. That needs several turns in. That should do it. So here. Clip it onto the top, clip that shut, and pull the tubing over it. And there we have it. Seems okay. No straining. Yeah, that's good. Let's do that. Centre. Right, let's get on and get the next one done. Well, let's see what we've got. That's pretty much perfect. I'll show you that here. He said, is it perfect? There's no up at all on it. Oh my god. Ha! But that's what testing's for. That's why I do my testing. So let's get this glued back together. So we need a quick fix on this. I'm using Yoo-Hoo Pour. I've got some foam tack, but I can't find it. This is just as good. So I'm putting Yoo-Hoo Pour into there, a whole lot of it. Pushing this down, pulling it out. A couple of times, wiggle it about. Do the hokey cokey. Right. So, take that out now. Although I haven't said that this is plastic. What's interesting here, I don't know if you can see it, is the foam's broken off. So there is foam in there and it is glued in, but because there's nothing, I suppose, supporting it around the other areas, it just gave way and broke. So I'm going to pull all the horns off the moving surfaces on this Lancaster and re-glue them. So while we're waiting for those horns to dry, right, I want to paint yellow tips on these props. Might as well get that done. Well, all my props are done. I ended up actually measuring 1 centimetre down from the highest point on the blade. So give or take a millimetre, they're about all the same. Now I'm going to be using this primer. It's a Halford's own brand primer, as you can see. So it's readily available in the UK. It's great paint actually. The Halford brand are brilliant for models and they're pretty foam safe. It's the propellant that isn't foam safe, but if you give them a good old, this is nearly empty, but you give them a good old mix with that ball bearing in there and lightly spray, the propellant doesn't have any effect on the foam, especially if you're spraying over already painted foam. So that's the primer, and I'll be using this on the props. And then I'm going to be using this paint, which I have never used before. It's called Plasticoat, as you can see. It does actually say here it is a multi-surface spray paint, and it will recoat anything. So we shall see.
A little later.
And that's gluing time. I've got to glue the vertical stabiliser, there's no rudder but it's just the vertical stabiliser, onto the horizontal stabiliser, like so. Now what you can't have is something like that, or something like that, so you've got to keep them straight. In order to help gauge that, I've got this square, so I can put that in, prop that up against there, and I now know that's straight. Now I could use Yoo-Hoo Pour, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use foam tack. Now, I've already opened one of these tubes. I can't find it, so I'm going to have to open another one. And I'm also going to help this bind, because it's quite a thin actual connection. I'm just going to take some more paint off here, and I'm going to scrape it, put hatch marks on it. So that's ready. I think this will be ready. It just sits in there like that. It's quite good. What a moron. I didn't do the popper dots on this side for this one. I will do them now. Oh dear me. Okay, so that's going to glue in there. I'm going to leave it for about a minute.
2 very boring minutes later.
Let's get this together. That's pretty good. Just have to keep an eye on this until it sets now. So that's like not perfect, but it will do. These bits around here I'll touch up with black paint and a brush, and then I'll just re-lacquer it.